Alright guys, welcome back to part 2 of this tutorial series. So we have tracked our footage and we've set up our tracking scene, and now it's time to start building our CG assets that will be placed over here. So we want like a cylindrical bay doors that open and then a rocket that comes out and flies in the air. Well, that's going to fly up, and it's going to have some rocket flames, which is quite exciting. So to do that, we're going to be using the fluid simulation in Blender, which I am not proficient at, but I know one or two things that could help you guys out. So okay, coolio, let's get going. Okay, so let's just scale this down and maybe just move it around a bit. I think I want the rocket thing to sit over here somewhere. Cool. We're gonna exit that, and now this will be the area that we're gonna be creating our 3D scene right here. So let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is create our own custom shadow catcher. So what I want to do is split the screens here, put that one on camera view so we can actually see what we're doing. We go to camera, background images, and I just want to increase the opacity so we can see what's going on here, and we can set that to rendered view. Fantastic. All right, now we can delete this cube, we don't need it anymore, and we can delete this plane. I'm gonna start by creating a cylinder, scaling that up. Now keep in mind we want a relatively big cylindrical area because that's going to be our tunnel where the rocket will come out of. So that looks good to me. But the first thing I want to do is go to edit mode here. Let me try and put the screencast on. It doesn't always work, I don't know, for some reason. I'm going to delete, or actually let me scale, make it nice and long. Okay, and move that down to the origin point, and then I'm gonna go to edit mode, select, make sure you on select pane, select that one and delete face, and then I want to select this edge, go select loop, edge loops, and we just want to go extrude and scale and just really open that nicer and wide. And this is going to be our new shadow catcher. So to set that to shadow catching, you want to make sure that it's selected. First let's go shade smooth, we go to normals and click on auto smooth normals. And then we're going to go to object properties, visibility, and we want to set this to a shadow catcher. So you won't see it in this scene, but it will catch the shadows of the rocket and all that stuff. So if we give it a quick render, the tunnel part should be kind of dark inside. And it's not. Strange. It's supposed to be. It's fine. Maybe it's because the light's over there. So if we move it to the side, see render. Okay, whatever. So technically, if we have an object now in our scene, just gonna pop in a UV sphere because it just always looks cool. And that's our light. then you should see the shadow. So there's our shadow of our sphere. Cool. Delete that. And just move this light there. Okay, now we want to start building our tunnel here. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a secondary cylinder. Scale it up. I want it to sit within the cylinder. Go edit, all scale Z, make it nice and long. Bring it down to about there. Okay. And once again, we're gonna go just delete this area. It's not, no, we selected the wrong object, so just make sure that's object selected. Go to edit mode, select pane, delete face. Cool. And then we want to select the edges. So you select it, go select edge loop, and then we're gonna extrude on the Z axis. Extrude scale, extrude Z, extrude scale, extrude Z, extrude scale, GZ, bring that down a bit, extrude Z, and scale a bit. Cool. So we've got this going for us, which is quite nice. So we can say shade smooth, and remember to go to vertex groups and say normal, auto smooth. And yeah, we've got our tunnel. Make it a tiny bit smaller. Let's give that a render and see what we have. Nice. Now I just want to have a look-see. Let me render that. Okay, cool. It's working. So look at that. Got our tunnel there. And even if you now scrub through the footage here, there you go. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? That's so awesome. Oh my god, that's so awesome. Alright, cool. Enough of that. Let's just zoom in here. Go to rendered view. Right click, say shade smooth. So it looks smooth on the render, so I'm not too concerned about these little edges. Alright, so that's that. Now we need to create our bunker doors, which is going to be pretty cool. So let's start by creating a plane. Scale that up. I'm going to go to edit mode, select edges, maybe scale even more. Okay, edit mode, go to loop cut, and I'm just going to add some quick loop cuts in here. So one there and one there. I want to select that edge, so extrude that out, and that is on the, I think on the X, no, that's on the Y. Extrude it out. Same on this side, so extrude Y, bring it out. Then select these vertices, and we want to just move them in, so G, Y, no, GX. Cool. So we've got something like that. And now let's just duplicate that. Rotate on the Z axis 180 degrees. Move that here. And go to edit mode, and now we start adjusting. First, let me just hide this cylinder and this one so I can see what I'm doing. Go back into edit mode, and now we say, okay, take these 2 points, GY, no, it's GX. GX. Just move that up. Okay. These points can come up to here. And then we'll, okay, so we'll have to extrude this one and this one. Extrude on the X all the way there. Select these ones. That one says scale Y. GY. And now we need to join these points. So let's add a quick loop cut over there and over there. We're gonna select points there, say M, join at center, join at center, join at center. Same on this side. Join at center, 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 center. And you press M to merge. So you select the points, press M, and it'll bring up this, and I say merge at center. All right, cool. So we've got some sort of bunker door. Let's just remove those. And we're going to, okay, just for consistency, let's just select these points and move them out a bit. We can do the same on this side. Okay, that's fine. Remove X-ray view. So there's our bunker door, but obviously it needs to be thick. So we're going to go into select one, select edit mode, select all the vertices, and we will say extrude upward. Very nice. And then we'll do the same on the other one. Select all, extrude on the Z axis. Very nice. And so we've got a very quick and rough bunker door. Give that a quick render. So obviously we don't want these sides to show, so we just need to lower the doors under the shadow catcher. And if you render again, there we go. And that's our bunker door. And we will soon animate them to open up, and then our rocket will come out. Great. Now we can bring in our rocket. For now, let's open these doors like that. Cool. So we can kind of... I actually want to adjust this, so let's select the cylinder, go edit, and let's go to side view, go to see-through view, and we want to select vertices, and I want to select all of those vertices there. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, so we want to select those points and just move them down, GZ, so that there's space for our bunker doors. And we can just move them up slightly. We should actually remove that area so it looks like it's coming in from, which is quite simple. We can do that. We select this one, we go edit. No, we don't want to go away. We want to select that, go edit. Maybe we just need to scale up our shadow catcher. Yeah. GZ, move it down a bit. And then once again, select this one, go edit, select pane, select loop. Okay, that's not gonna work. So tediously now we need to go in and select all of these panes. It's just not a major issue. We can quickly do that. So you just want to change your selection tool to circle select. And we're just going to go around Just bring the radius down and just go around and select all of these. Yes, and then we're just gonna say scale and scale them outward. GZ, move it down. And once again, I think we just need to scale up our shadow catcher. GZ, move it down to there. Something's a little off. You can see here part of our tunnel is hidden. So maybe if we bring this just give it a quick render. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. Let's just undo. We don't want it to be scaled so dramatically, so we just scale it again, but not as hectic. Go into our camera view. Scale that up and bring it down to there. Alright, cool. Now remember we downloaded the rocket, so we need to bring that in. File, append, model, select our model, click append, go to objects, and we're just gonna select all and deselect the cameras and deselect the sun. We don't need that, so we append GZ. We can delete that. We just want the rocket, so select the rocket, create a new collection and call it rocket. And what we want to do as well is maybe just create an empty. I'm just going to create a UV sphere, move that up, scale it up, then select our entire rocket, select objects, and we want to select the empty, Control P, parent objects. So now all those objects are connected and we can just move all of them by moving the empty instead of you know, because sometimes if you move individual objects and it's just a mess. So cool, we can move that down, and this rocket obviously I think we might want it to be bigger. The empty, select it, press M and move it into the rocket, and then select objects, and we're just going to scale that. We want a really big rocket. Let's render that. That's looking pretty nice. Remember, we can always at the end just kind of remove this bottom part in After Effects. But it shouldn't be showing because we have a shadow catcher, which is interesting. And that's the whole point of the shadow catcher. I think this needs to move. The rocket needs to move into the foreground. That's probably what's going on here. Let's render that again. No, it's still happening. That's interesting. It shouldn't be doing that because we've got a shadow catcher. But what happens if we... Let's go edit, select all of these, and just extrude them down. So extrude Z. If that makes a difference when we... Oh, gracious. What just happened? That was not supposed to happen. It's fine, let's just rotate it. Rotate on the x-axis 180 degrees and then move it down. GZ. And yeah, so just a side note, things aren't always going to go according to plan. In case you didn't realize, you know, sometimes you're going to do things and you're going to have so many issues. You just need to adjust and change and play around and find different ways to get around it. So for some reason it's still happening. I don't know why. Honestly, don't know why. It just doesn't make sense to me because this is set to shadow catcher. Let's try again. Let's just create a mesh plane, scale that humongously. GZ. Set visibility. Shadow catcher. See, it's rendering the rocket in the background again. It shouldn't do that. Okay. Let's go create a cylinder, scale up, and select the plane. Go to modifiers, boolean. Let's see if that made a difference. No. Cylinder, I don't want to show in the render. So there we go. That did something. looking good. But yeah, our rocket is still rendering in the background. It just doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to do that. All of this can move into the foreground. And we can delete the background. We don't need that. Alright guys, finally I think we're getting somewhere. I think now what we can do is go and add a HDRI to create some realistic lighting. So let's open up the interwebs. I'm gonna go to Polyhaven, HDRIs, and then what we want to look for is skies, and we want to look for maybe overcast, because it looks kind of overcast in this drawing, in this footage, because it's nice and cold. And yeah, I think this should work, so let's just go for this one. We want to download 4K HDR, download. Move that into our project folder. Then we want to go here to world settings. Color we set to environmental texture. Environment texture, open up, and we go navigate to our HDRI. And we can actually delete the light, we don't need that. Let's give it a quick render. Cool, so we got some realistic lighting going on. It might be a little bit too bright, so we can set it to 0.8, 0.6. Okay, and we can go and add some textures. So let's go join these areas here. I want to go to shading, go to rendered view, and now we want to add some textures. So as I've mentioned in my previous videos, I'm going to be using Blender Kit for my textures. It just works so well. It's just a little add-on, a free add-on. You can go activate it by going to edit preferences, add-on, select, and then search Blender Kit, make sure it's selected, and then you want to go to material tab, make sure that this icon is on, and it will display the different materials. And we go down to categories, and we want to show the metal tabs because we want to add some metal texture to our bunker. So we got some really interesting ones off the bat, yeah. That's pretty darn cool. So let's just quickly move our bunker doors in so we can see them. And we're gonna go, let's drop some textures and see what it looks like. That's looking pretty darn cool, I have to say so, if I say so myself. Let's just hide our rocket for a moment. Bring in our bunker doors. And we go to edit, UV, select all, change this view here to UV editor. And I think we go just let's go smart UV project. And the same with this one. Let's go edit, select all, UV, smart UV project. And we're just going to shift it around until we're happy. Something like that. Let's give that a quick render. And that looks pretty cool. Alright, I can open. No, I just moved something I shouldn't move. Let's just open our bunker doors again. And unhide the rocket. And now for this part, we're gonna select, I guess, metal again, or concrete. Yes, concrete. That's what I'm talking about. So let's look for a nice concrete, dirty, eroded concrete, kind of like. No, it's oh yes. Go to edit, select all, say UV, smart UV project. I just find that that works the best. Looks alright, it's not the greatest. Actually, let's change it. Let's change it to this one. Scale it down. Let's render and see what it looks like. I don't know. Maybe we'll just use metal. Let's go back to metal. See what we have. I want something that looks space age. Let's drop that one and see what it looks like. It's really just about playing around until you're happy. So again, we're gonna go to edit and just scale it down the mesh so that it's projected nicer. So now we've got a lot of detail on the inside. I think we might change the top here. Let's render it and see what it looks like. It might work. If it works, then we'll leave it. Yeah, it actually looks pretty cool. Okay. So, I mean, obviously it would be cool to have more shadows, but the thing is the sun is coming from above and it is overcast. So you can see the only shadows are basically under the trees. And you can't see any shadows, directional shadows on this building. It's because the sun is coming from above. This is probably like midday. Taken midday, but overcast. Or really early morning. So yeah, I mean, we've got... that looks pretty good. And then we can actually move it off the path there, maybe to the left here. Let's select all of our... and just... just move the camera out into the foreground collection. Oh, just the scene collection. Select all of these and then just move that. Why did that not move now? You kidding me? Select objects. Move everything. Why is my shadow catcher not moving? Don't want the camera. Let's move that there. Let's just leave it there in the middle. I want to just set my performance render tiles to 512 so it'll render faster because I'm rendering with my graphics card. Cool. Looking good. Alright, and then that is part 2, and then in part 3 we will be animating the bay doors and the rocket flying up, and then maybe part 4 we'll do the rocket flames on its own. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, like, share with your friends, all of that nice and awesome things. And I hope you enjoyed this part 2. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comment section if anything was unclear. And yeah, I will see you next time.